Remember when staying up late playing video games is something to brag about? Now doing that's kind of embarrassing and, well, depressing. I didn't know what multiplayer was as a kid, but I could play Red Dead Redemption and skin animals as a kid all day. Was I the only one who did that? You'd go to the ranch and then... Police! Anyways, I didn't know what a party chat was, but I could play open season on the PlayStation 2 all day. Now it feels like if my friends are online, I can't find much enjoyment in playing games anymore. Even if my friends are online, I find myself getting angry and annoyed more often than I'd like to admit. Games used to be a getaway, but now when I think about my experience, it's kind of depressing. I already work a 9 to 5 that I can't stand. I mentioned my manager Jerry, who's a... Feels like I'd get off work to come home and grind for XP and throw my money away on microtransactions. I can't think of a word for it, but it's just depressing. Are games getting worse? And why do I feel like I need to pay to enjoy a game I already paid for? And why is Gary calling me? I'm not picking up!
Few inches later.
I feel like I'm wasting all my time. How can something that I enjoyed so much as a kid feel so different now? Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud. Maybe I'm in my head too much. Let's forget about it and enjoy a game. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero.
You monkey!
Potentially Game of the Year. This will definitely boost my mood. Second thought, I don't have enough time to master the game's mechanics so I can enjoy myself. I'm gonna get cooked.
We on to the next one.
Let's try NBA. Well, this game just wants me to spend as much money as possible and honestly feels more like a job than it does a video game.
We on to the next one.
Okay, UFC 5 it is. Well, this game felt unfinished and it under-delivered on all of its promises. Plus, I feel like this game brings me more frustration than enjoyment anyways. What about wrestling?
I'm ready for Pontiac, Michigan. I'm not the Hulk anymore. I'm the Hulkster, man. Look into my eyes, man. Hulk, come on that mountaintop. Back off, little man.
Well, I'm not really in the mood. Plus, the lack of features and repetitive gameplay doesn't exactly sound fun.
We on to the next one.
Okay. Undisputed it is. I gotta play something. I gotta stop tripping. On second thought, this game is the definition of unfinished, and it just makes me angry. Career mode sucks, and people just spam online. I just feel burnt out. Maybe I'll just play... Oh, that's actually all the games I have installed. Okay, I'll just sit in a party and wait for one of my friends to join.
2 hours later.
Okay, how about I don't know. There are a plethora of reasons of why gaming stopped being fun. From monopolization, to greed, to complacency, all of which have been covered extensively by creators greater than myself. But a more interesting question to me is, when? When did it happen? What was the exact day gaming stopped being fun? If you're anything like me, then you primarily play sports games. With that being said, 20 years ago, sports games essentially died. The year is 2004. Yeah by Usher was going crazy, Facebook made its debut, and the Red Sox finally won a World Series.
Boston Red Sox are world champions!
Unfortunately for us though, on December 13th, 2004, Electronic Arts would sign an exclusive licensing agreement with the NFL. This would make Madden the only official NFL game. At the surface, this doesn't seem bad. I mean, good Madden games came out after 2004, right? I mean, one of the most critically acclaimed football games, Madden NFL 2005, as well as 2008, came out after this deal. You see, Madden had a problem. Remember when I mentioned complacency and monopolization? These two things go hand in hand. At first, EA released good football games fresh off their new deal. As time passed, EA realized that there's no worthwhile competition because of their exclusive deal, so things changed. You see, even if a company wanted to compete with EA, they literally couldn't. Being that EA has exclusive rights to the names and likenesses of players, competing with them was literally pointless. Making the best football game known to man with Mikey Vick instead of Michael Vick would not be worth the investment. So EA having a stronghold on the football video game sphere actually started a trend. No, not that kind of trend. You see, as time went on, EA's effort and quality got worse and worse. But the money kept coming in. For reference, allegedly, Madden NFL 25 sold 1 million units its first week. Times that by the average cost of the game, take away, let's say 35% for the companies like Microsoft and Sony, that's $45 million for EA in a week for releasing Madden NFL 25. And if you know anything about the current state of Madden, well, yeah. Back to 2004. You see, EA realized that they can put out basically whatever they want, so they could just reskin the same game and make millions. So why innovate and spend more money on creating the game when you basically have a formula that's a money printer disguised as a video game? Remember, as I said before, this started a trend. No, not that kind of trend either. On June 4th, 2012, EA gained exclusive rights to produce UFC games. And much like the Madden franchise, UFC fans have been met with games that seem to be getting worse as the years go on, with the latest two releases seeming more like cash grabs than finished products. But back to the trend. With no competition and securing the exclusive rights to make the game, there's nothing we could do. Another sports game, football. No, not that kind of football, we just talked about that. Football, the literal football sport, soccer. EA wasn't able to secure exclusive rights for licensing soccer players, so there is competition. Kind of. eFootball, formerly known as Pro Evolution Soccer, or PES, is EA Sports FC's competition. And the thing is, eFootball is way better than EA's product. Actually, I don't know if that's true, because I've never played it, and odds are you haven't either. That's my point. EA has such an advantage with marketing, it's not even fair. Most people haven't even heard of eFootball. eFootball could be the best soccer game in the world, but it doesn't matter. EA is the big juggernaut with the big money. EA can use as many commercials as they want, and if that doesn't work, they can pay your favorite content creators to pretend that the game is good. So really, there is no competition or threat of EA losing its spot as the top soccer game producer. Being that there is no threat, once again, EA Sports FC is a free money generator. Okay. So UFC, soccer, and football are cooked. Well, you could technically say UFC, football, and football, right?
You stupid.
Whatever. Those games are cooked. What about basketball? Basketball games are the worst case scenario, with the most aggressive microtransactions to date. You quite literally cannot enjoy the game without spending money on a game you already paid for, or spending an unrealistic amount of time grinding for virtual currency. It's unacceptable, but once again, there's nothing we can do. You see, Take-Two Interactive, the producer of 2K games, used to have competition. Believe it or not, EA used to make good basketball games, and they actually used to be at the top when it came to making basketball games. But 2K started producing better games and they were more consistent. Eventually, it was clear that 2K had the better NBA games, so EA took some time off. The CEO of EA said, "This whole competition thing, I don't really like that. I only want to take part in games that we have a complete unfair advantage in, and Take-Two Interactive isn't playing." Someone in the room said, "Mr. CEO, not to be disrespectful or speak out of turn, may I speak?" He said, "Go ahead." The guy said, "Mr. CEO, we don't need basketball games, especially if we have to actually compete and put out good games. We're already rich. Plus, even if we make a good basketball game, there's no guarantee that we'll be on top." EA CEO looked at him, he said, "Genius, you get a raise." And then they stopped making basketball games. Once EA dipped, someone at Take-Two Interactive said, "Hey boss, EA's gone and they're not coming back." Take-Two's CEO said, "What's your point?" The guy said, "We don't need to try anymore." The CEO spit out his coffee and he said, "Leaping lizards, you're right!" So now we get mediocre NBA games with aggressive microtransactions because there's no competition. That's just the tip of this iceberg. EA has single-handedly ruined most sports games, with Take-Two Interactive destroying the basketball franchise. So sports games are cooked. What about shooters? With Activision's experience in making the Call of Duty games as well as the Tony Hawk Pro Skater series, mixed with Blizzard Entertainment's success in PC gaming, the sky was the limit. Activision mixed with Blizzard became the first independent gaming company to reach over $1 billion in revenue. Okay, so how does this merge cause the death of shooting games? Shut up, I'm not done. Remember, complacency is a huge reason gaming is where it's at right now. Call of Duty is by far the biggest first-person shooter franchise ever, but it's plagued with issues. From server issues, to falsely banning players, to persistent cheating, to microtransactions. Things like repetitive gameplay is also a big concern for Call of Duty players. But remember, why spend more money on innovation when you can just use the same formula that has proven to work for money? Make a decent shooting game, don't change too much, add some microtransactions, and slap the Call of Duty name on it. Boom. Money! Unlike the sports genre, Activision hasn't monopolized the whole first-person shooter market, but there's a trend in gaming. Success equals money. Money equals complacency. Complacency equals copy and paste. More often than not, your favorite gaming companies will do this, and it's killing gaming. Here's an example. Pride is a double-edged sword. Pride can be both negative and positive, but usually the saying, "taking pride in your work," is a good thing. On September 26, 2017, the entire gaming community lost its pride in innovation. The year is 2017. Shape of You by Ed Sheeran was taking the world by storm. The Women's March on Washington was a huge historical moment, and Donald Trump became the 45th president of the United States. On September 26, 2017, Fortnite was released, and it shook gaming to its core. Everyone was playing it, from kids to adults to streamers, literally everyone. You see, Epic Games found a formula, a money printer if you will. An addictive battle royale mode that's free to play, but cosmetics cost money. This was genius, expanding the reach of their game because there's no harm in buying a free game, right? Remember, I'm telling you this to show you how people do what works. They copy and paste things if the money is there. So from 2017 until now, almost 2025, companies have shamelessly copied the Battle Royale mode for Fortnite. And there's nothing inherently wrong with that, but it was getting ridiculous. There was a Battle Royale mode in Red Dead Redemption 2. For goodness sakes, it was getting bad. And it showed us something. Companies do what works. So they produce rush clones of Fortnite to get as much cash as possible. Innovation and creativity mixed with quality are things game developers used to care about. Fortnite showed us that that's not the case anymore. Cash rules everything. So whether it be shamelessly copying another game's formula, which used to be frowned upon in the gaming industry, or copying a formula you made for yourself, at the end of the day, whatever works, works. Microtransactions will only get worse. Copy and paste will only get worse. The pride of gaming companies and the thrill of innovating and doing something new has long passed away. We're partially to blame. I mean, the numbers don't lie. We keep buying the games, but it's our only option. Buy it or don't play at all. I'd like to take a look at one more date that killed the enjoyment that we used to feel in games. So enough about shameless gaming companies. Speaking of shameless, please like the video and consider becoming a channel member to help me create videos like this. The link's in the description. Anyways, the platform holders, the console creators themselves are making gaming worse. In 2013, a lot of things happened. Grand Theft Auto 5 came out. That's all I can remember. But on November 15th, 2013, the PlayStation 4 came out. It may seem counterintuitive that a new console coming out could contribute to the death of gaming as we knew it. Yes, Xbox, you're included. The variety wasn't the same. There were so many random games, ones that I can't even remember the name of, that I played on the PS2 and PS3 that were a blast. I remember playing Ben 10, Open Season, Incredible Hulk, Wrestling, Simpsons, GTA 3, The Godfather. Now, with the strict guidelines instilled by the platform holders, these wacky games that we used to play aren't even really possible anymore. There was so much variety and so much fun to be had. Forget exclusives, there was just nonsense, but somehow it was fun. But now with boring and overly strict guidelines and the size of modern day console storage, you're lucky to even have 7 games that you can play at a time. Everything has to be polished now. Everything has to be released by a AAA company with stunning graphics. But when companies like EA or 2K make half-baked games as an easy cash grab, it's okay. The whole system just seems backwards, and variety in gaming just isn't the same anymore. These are the dates and times that cause gaming to stop being fun. I'm not saying that there aren't any good games. There are some gems for sure, but my overall enjoyment isn't the same. Maybe because I'm older. Maybe I'm not the demographic. What do you think? Is gaming still fun? Speaking of games not being fun, click here to learn about the worst video game release ever. Thank you so much for watching.